Hello guys, welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be looking at the deck I will be playing for the Common Charity Productions Cup. This deck, that tournament rather, is a competitive tournament, and the first tournament that's actually going to be streamed live. So if you want to watch that live streamed tournament, head over to the Common Charity Productions channel and watch the tournament live. I believe it will be starting around 6 p.m. GMT. So that's a neutral time zone, I believe. So you can just calculate your time zone. Realistically, just do it on Google. But still, let's go over the deck I'll be playing for it. As you know, we're on Gishki Sprite. This deck has been my child for the last couple days. I've been playing and testing and perfecting ratios with it for a very, very long time. And I think I can finally say that I'm happy with where the deck ended up. So let's just get started. 3 Deep Sea Diva. This card is quite good. Essentially, you can just normal summon this, summon another Diva from deck, right? That's just a rank 2. Pretty good. It's important in builds like this to kind of make sure you always have access to twos, because if you don't always have access to twos, you'll be missing out on sprite negates. You'll be missing out on a lot of things that even while you're controlling a lot of sprites, or while you're controlling some of your beast cards, you're not going to have access to it. So I do think Diva is an important inclusion. For the Gishki stuff, you're playing 3 Grimness, 3 Abyss, and might as well just go over the 3 focused Aquamirror now. Aquamirror is actually, don't be fooled by the text. This sentence is the only important piece. The other part is, while you control water ritual monster, and because we don't have Eremias or even the guy that pays 1,000 and shuffles, not a hard one's return, there are no even playable Gishki waters. So Gishki water rituals. So all we need to do is we're searching Grimness. Grimness summons Abyss from deck, and then Abyss searches Grimness. Then you overlay the 2 and make a mannequin cat. You just make a mannequin cat. The Gishki engine is pretty simple. It's just a repeatable rank 2. They're water, so you can use, and they're water fish, so you can use Abyss Keeper. You'll always have some number of Gishkis in hand. If so, Abyss Keeper can summon them from hand, and it can banish cards in your opponent's field. Kind of like Onibimaru, but it's permanent, so sometimes you just need to get rid of that threat for a longer amount of time, and Abyss Keeper does come up in situations like that, or if you banished a bunch of them off Extrav. Next up, we got the Beast package. We have 2 Hopier, 2 Beaver, and 3 Caddy. Beaver essentially just acts like Diva, except it's searchable. It's a water 2, so you can still use it hilariously. You can still use it to make Abyss Keeper. You can just pick it up off Caddy. Caddy, Melfi Caddy, essentially an end phase. You summon this, and then if it's targeted for an attack or your opponent summons a monster, you can bounce this back to hand and search a beast monster. So that can either be Beaver for follow-up, or that can be Hopier Squadron if you want to get through another piece of interruption. Essentially, when they normal or like special summon a bunch of monsters, return Melfi Caddy, search Hopier, and then Hopier summons itself from hand, synchros off with either an extra Diva or an extra Abyss on your field to make Merry Melfi's to bounce a card in your opponent's field. Quite good for interruption, and the Beast engine is one of the most important parts of this deck. Next, we're going to take a look at the sprites. 3 Carrot, 3 Pixies, 3 Red. These are all mandatory. Essentially, you always need to have access to some number of sprites to actually get your interruptions going, right? Otherwise, you're just going to play rank 2 turbo, and that's just not going to work, right? Mannequin Cat's not good enough, especially in game 1, to carry you through, and Hopier Squadron, while decent, is also not going to be enough to carry you through. You do need to open sprites, so the ideal hand does open up with a red or a carrot. Pixies is also quite good. It's a rank 2 extender. It's also honest, which is good enough in this format to be played. 1 Called By. It's Called By. It's the best card in the game. You want to play it, especially against decks like Predaplant. It hits Luna, it hits Predaplant, it hits Tenyi, it hits Trap Tricks, but that's not in this one. This is only post OTS 21. This is not with the Trap Trick stuff. Otherwise, you'd be playing Gakis in the sideboard and Dusters. But this is only for post OTS 21. The next tournament I'm holding will be post trap trick structure. But for now, not it. Already covered Aquamirror. We're playing Xtrav. Xtrav is pretty much necessary in a deck like this. There's just not enough consistency in picking up sprites, or like we essentially, the ideal open contains every single one of these engines. We want the Gishki stuff, we want the Beast stuff, and we want sprites. And there's just not enough consistency in regular, like without Xtrav, to open all of that. So the goal here is to get your hands on pretty much everything you need with Xtrav. It helps there. 3 Gamma Burst. A lot of people underrate this card. This card is busted. You do need this. Essentially, this makes it so that all of your 2s gain 1400 attack, and then later you can banish this to make another guy gain 1400 attack. This is immensely strong. What you all you need to do is just fire this, and you already have like OTKs lined up. A lot of people don't realize that with Gamma Burst, Carrot is 24, Pixies is 28, and Red is 26. That's an insane degree of attack. The rank 2s get even larger, like Onibimaru's 35, Mannequin Cat's 30. Well, Onibimaru's 33 actually, and then Mannequin Cat is 34. Joyous Melfi's, something you can make by bouncing back Merry Melfi's, is 35. The Link monsters are also get pretty big. This is Abyss Keeper's 29. Puzzle Mino is like 27. So like these Gamma Burst really gets your guys big and ready to take down pretty much any like big attacker. Like Pixies, activate Gamma Burst on Pixies, go 28, hit over like Dragostapelia. Like Gamma Burst is supremely powerful for breaking boards. 2 Smashers, this is the worst card in the deck. It's annoying, but you do kind of want to play it. Especially with cards like Gamma Burst in your extra deck, you need to be able to like make use, or in your deck, you need to be able to make use of like dead sprite cards in your hand, and Smashers is a good way to do that. Then we are playing 1 or 3 copies of Solemn Judgment. This deck loses very hard to cards like Raigeki after the tournament, or things like Dark Hole. Dark Hole, as you saw in Melfi Rabbi's most recent video, Dark Hole kind of messes this deck up very hard. So you really want to be playing a bunch of cards that kind of play through that, and Solemn Judgment is a good one to draw into. For the extra deck, we're playing 3 Joyous or Merry Melfi's. The 3 Merry Melfi's are essentially, they're just disruption. You can do them with Hopier, and they can infinitely recycle themselves because they bounce themselves back to summon Joyous Melfi's. Joyous is essentially just a big beat stick. A lot of people don't realize, they're like, oh, why are you even playing Joyous? You can't have any materials. It doesn't get its effect. A 2k beater is like not bad in a format like this. Having a rank 2 to tribute off the sprites is also convenient. It's better than just having a level 2 because they negate and destroy rather than just negate. 3 Mannequin Cat, this card is busted. If you've taken a quick look at my sideboard, you'd realize why. Essentially, you can do this and then if you in game 2 and 3, you can sideboard into a Floodgate monster that hits decks. Onibimaru, this is the only actually good rank 2 in this format. Essentially, this breaks boards super easily. You get to banish a card until your opponent's end phase on their field. It's just 2 generic rank 2s. And then if this card is destroyed by your opponent's card, you can target banished monsters and then shuffle them into the deck. So essentially, you can go Onibimaru, banish a card, and then if you really need to, you can hit in, destroy yourself on just like hit in to like a monster bigger than this, and then shuffle that card into the deck if you really need it to be permanent. But a better way of making it permanent is playing Abyss Keeper. Abyss Keeper summons a fish from deck, summons a fish from hand. Summoning a fish from deck would be a lot better, but it summons a fish from hand, and then you can target a fish you control and a monster your opponent controls, and then banish them both. Very, very good. And then we are also on 2 Puzzle Mino drop-in deleters. Essentially, this is just for mitigating the harm that Predaplant counters do. I actually don't know if that works. I don't know if that how does Puzzle Mino interact with Predaplant counters? Either way, the card's just good in general. You can use it on Merry Melfi's to make it a 2 if you need to. You can use it on any opponent's monsters, any of your Floodgates if you need to, it makes for some niche play, which I consider valuable enough to put in the deck. We'll go over the easy part of my extra deck or my sideboard. First, we're playing 1 Pank for going second, 3 Dark Hole for Melfi, or I guess this, 3 Necro Valley for certain graveyard-based decks, and this deck can't really play Shifter very well, so you want to play, so I play Necro Valley instead, and then 3 D Barrier for most decks. And I accidentally just put D Barrier into the main board, into the main deck. Okay, now on to the hard part. Rose Whip is for Predaplant. Essentially, you can use a Mannequin Cat to target a monster when your opponent summons a plant. You target that monster, and then you summon a monster from deck with the same attribute or type. This is a plant. This hits every Predaplant in the deck. In this hits just every Predaplant that exists, and your opponent can only activate 1 fusions or spell trap per turn. So your opponent can either choose between activating Bufalika or Instant Fusion or any of the cards they search off Cobra, right? So you can either activate Instant Fusion that you searched off Cobra, or you can activate the Bufalika, right? You can't activate Triantis, you can't activate Super Poly. There are a lot of things you just can't do with Rose Whip in the deck, right? So it's very important. It's a very, very good way to floodgate for the deck for Predaplant. Kaiku is for Lunalight. Lunalight is heavily slowed by Kaiku the Ghost Destroys effect to prevent them from banishing cards. They can't Wolf. They can't Morten, I believe. You can't do something with that. They can't Cat. Wait, no, not Cat Dancer. Hold up. They can't do something. They can't. What's the Crimson something? They can't do the thing that negates targeting, right? Preventing Wolf is the biggest thing, though. Essentially, this prevents them from making Leo Dancer at all. This shuts off their turn 2 OTKs, so they need to hit over this and then just pass to you and be like, okay, break my board of 0 interruptions. Maybe Redoer if you get lucky and pick off one of the 3 Solemns from off the top of the deck, right? So essentially what this does is prevent OTKs, and then once you kill their board going in turn 3 or turn 5, it would be once you kill their board, or not turn 5, turn 4, once you kill their board, essentially they can't really do much. You've exhausted their Leo Dancers. There's no other deck that can stop the OTK as well as this deck can, right? 1 Gendo, the Ascetic Monk. This is for the Mirror. This is for Dino Mist. There are a lot of things that this just kind of hits. Essentially, face-up attack position monsters on the field can't use their effects. So essentially, we just use this. We go Mannequin Cat. We target a water monster they summon. We summon Gendo from the deck, and then they can't really do anything, right? This card can't be targeted or destroyed by card effects. So this prevents any like spell trap removal from getting rid of it. And then essentially we can just link it off because it's a water, right? So we can just link it off for Abyss Keeper next turn. So there's like no reason to like be afraid that, oh shit, I'm gonna lock myself with this. No, you can just link it off for Abyss Keeper next turn. This card is very good. Unfortunately, there are not a lot of good water decks in this format, but either way, Gendo the Ascetic Monk can Jesus Christ can we're not re-recording that. Can be good against certain water decks, things like Dino Mist, things like the Mirror Match. Fossil Pachycephalo. This is for Earth decks, things like Traptrix, things like Melfi. Essentially, everyone knows what Pachycephalo does. Neither player can special summon monsters. Again, we don't need to worry about this. We can just, the way we get rid of this is essentially we can just ram it into one of your opponent's monsters. We can also there are some funny things we can do with Dark Hole if you want to side this in. There are some funny things we can do. I don't know if you can actually link this off. I have no idea. But if you can just link it off for Puzzlemino, right? There are a lot of things you can do against this. And then our like target is Christia. Christia is just the best floodgate monster in the game, really. It's just a white. You can summon it from deck. Your opponent can special summons monsters. And then if it's destroyed, you can place it on the top of the deck. We don't want to do that. But if this face-up card would be set from the field of the grave, place it on the top of the deck. That's actually kind of not a great effect, but it's still important that it's a 2800 beater that prevents special summoning. That's pretty much the deck I'm going to play. I explained its intricacies and ins and outs pretty well for this. And by the time you're seeing this, I believe we should be the tournament should be up by then. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you on the tournament stream. Goodbye.